Good evening, Leroy. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you going to be the vice president?
Well, they were talking about having somebody from Illinois come in, so I just figured,
A
why
billion,
not?
a billionaire from Illinois. So it's got to be you, right?
Is your hair bleached?
It was one of the first things I wanted to talk about. So yeah, we'll have to bring it up here because it's. I mean, we were just joking before we started that there is really like no big news this week, but there's a lot of little news. And it's a weird week, and I think a lot of that is that the NFL is just now starting. Training camp's kind of getting underway, so
Yep.
this is where that news cycle's really going to roll. And then, of course, we have
Nothing like training camp rolling around and the Green Bay Packers throwing a fit about their quarterback. Just a normal, everyday thing for the Green Bay Packers. A story that gets blown out of proportion for no reason whatsoever.
See, I'm intrigued if even our good friend Paul Reeves is even going to be able to show his face around here today. After when he comes, I've got things to say.
Do
say.
you?
If he has the cojones to show up today, based on what his
okay.
And speaking of people who show up, John Malone writes in, Anthony Richardson is 100% healthy, so is Daniel Jones, so is Joe Burrow. And speaking of Joe Burrow, Leroy, you ready?
Right now.
Are you ready?
It's
fantastic. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. Fantastic.
No, I just want to know if the real Slim Shady will stand up, please.
Or Cody Rhodes, right? Well, did you see that Cody Rhodes tweeted at him with a picture and an edit that had him? Because doesn't Cody Rhodes have like a tattoo on a neck tattoo?
Yeah.
So he tweeted like it was somebody had made Joe Burrow as him and had him with like the belt over his shoulder and everything and said like time to finish your story or something was like that. I just find it funny how it shows you how starved for news we are that was such big news yesterday.
Well, and I wonder, yeah, we're definitely starving for some football news.
Yeah, you Optimus Prime there for the first part of it, but you, I think, made your point there of saying Prime. I mean, it is just hungry, and I think so much of us we're so sick of hearing about politics that it's nice to just have something that we could all be like, Joe, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Now, did you ever have that hair?
Yes,
I thought you did.
Yes, I absolutely did.
And what was Dave Clamola's reaction when he saw it for the first time?
What are you doing, kid? What are you doing?
Because what was this?
Nothing. Don't worry about it, all right?
Was this, about 2000? Were you kind of when everyone was doing it?
It would have been, 03, 02, 03. So that would have been right after, like, college, so all pierced up and bleached blonde hair. And
did you think you were a Backstreet Boy was pretty much the way you were doing it?
Yeah.
So the reason that Joe Burrow is funny, they asked him today.
I would just love to have hair.
Right? Yeah. You should just do the goatee. You should just
bleach the goatee.
Do frosted tips on the goatee. I'm sure your wife would be fine with that, right? And I'm sure that the girls basketball team would love it too if you walked in there with frosted tips on your goatee. Vintage.
I almost want to be like. Oh my goodness! Yeah, just do this down here. That'd be perfect. One streak right here.
Oh yeah, like Guy Fieri.
So
Guy Fieri has that a little bit.
John says he's excited as Anthony Richardson is healthy. So my question to you, John, do you trust him to stay healthy? Is he going to be your fantasy football quarterback? Now, I jumped on the Richardson hype train last year, picked him up, and for the weeks that he played, he was awesome until he wasn't. And luckily, I had a good backup. But my question is Is he going to scare off fantasy football owners because he couldn't get through a whole first year? Is that a fluke? Or is that something that we need to be kind of keeping our eye on?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things with Anthony Richardson is it's like he plays a style of football that is more proponent to potentially have an injury thing. And I see here Ryan reaching out here too. Ryan, tell your dad we love him. It's not the same without. This is Mike Roberts' son. If you didn't know that, Leroy, but
yeah,
it's not the same without your dad around. And
we're trying to get the jungle going again. So we shared this in the jungle. We're working hard.
Yes, absolutely with it. John says he's drafting him around 4 to 5, depending on what pick he has. His injuries are mostly a fluke. He learned his lesson.
It doesn't matter, though.
Was in the pocket. Fluke injuries are part of the game.
Joe Burrow's injuries were all fluke. Let's be real here for a second. I'm sure Sam.
If we're being honest, most NFL injuries are flukes.
Yeah.
No one is purposefully trying to get injured when it comes to that. Look who decided to show. Okay, we got to stop everything else. He finally decided to show himself because it's time.
Here we go. You can just remove me for this part.
Yes. Because Leroy, if you didn't know, the Atlanta Braves are a bunch of chickens. Because if you didn't see on Monday, I haven't talked to him. Heck yeah. I love it, Ryan. That's exactly what I want to hear. And the Braves are exactly what he's saying. And Mike Roberts would say the same thing.
Hurt.
But on Monday, Reds, kicked the butt. Kicked butt, took names. Hunter Green was phenomenal. And then today, this morning, because last night's game, it rained. They canceled it. They pushed it back. Okay, makes sense. A little rain. So today they say doubleheader. Great. Traditional doubleheader. So you got the day night. Today, Reds, it was like they were playing the local high school team. It was just not even fair. Spencer Steer, 9-4, Reds win. So they're supposed to play again tonight. Great. Reds are thinking we're sweeping. Going to be easy. No, it might rain. So we're just going to cancel the game. So the Braves canceled it, and they chickened out, and the Reds couldn't get their sweep.
Are you really throwing a fit because they canceled the game because of rain?
What? But the legitimate point was that they could have
scared to face them healthy.
No, the Braves are scared to face the Redlegs right now. I think it's more what it is. And listen, they were kicking some butt. Hell, the Braves were going to go up against freaking the Reds bullpen in game number 2. But what the point was made, and I think it's a valid one, is that if you knew rain was coming in the afternoon, why didn't you play it as your back-to-back doubleheader?
These teams don't do that. Stop it. That's not how this works.
I just think that the Braves are a bunch of chickens. So now the Reds are going to have to go there on a Monday in September. And
when they're healthy.
Hopefully the Reds are. The Reds will have Matt McClain back then, maybe. And then the Braves were throwing some temper tantrums on Monday. I don't. But the Reds won too.
Hey, come on, Paul, go after him. If this was me talking to all, you'd be firing left and right comments. You're just going to sit there and let Sam take. Come on, Paul, let's go.
Because he knows he has nothing to say. He says we're hitting about as good as Leroy would hit against Randy Johnson right now.
He's still coming after me, man.
Could Prime Leroy. So when you were at your best, as far as athleticism, could you have made contact against Randy Johnson?
Absolutely not.
Would you have?
Randy,
how long would it have taken you to not crap your pants?
At least 30 pitches. Randy could sit there and say, "I'm literally only going to throw you change-ups," and I'd still be like.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Sean Casey, who, if you've never listened to Sean Casey tell stories, there's no shot in hell Leroy would have hit a home run off of Randy Johnson. None.
I got better odds of hooking than I do of hitting a home run off of Randy Johnson. I'll tell you that much right now.
The poor bird. Yes, she would have been like John Kruk in that All-Star game. Yeah, absolutely, I would have. Sean Casey though tells a great story about Randy Johnson and like the first time he faced him, and I think he said he like was battling, and it got to like pitch 7 or 8 of the at bat, and apparently like he grounded or fouled one off, and it rolled like halfway in between the mound and the catcher. And this is back in the days when they would keep using balls until they actually like couldn't and not just immediately throw them out.
Yep.
He said apparently Randy Johnson like walked up, grabbed that ball and like scowled at him. And Sean Casey was like, ah, ah. And he says he's just like, I just grabbed out to second. Like he's like, I do not want to face an angry Randy Johnson.
These kids don't understand how terrifying Randy was on the mound.
And I love
that. It was straight up intimidating.
He's like a wildlife photographer now, isn't he? Like,
yeah,
which is just fun.
I think his photography business has the bird on it.
Yes.
I forget what he calls it, but like dead bird.
It's something like that. Here, I'm looking at it. It's just Randy Johnson. Oh, it's just Randy Johnson photography.
Okay.
But it is the dead bird upside down, Randy Johnson photography, and yeah, it's like his profile has an elephant on there. But still, so there we go. I've gotten off my Reds Braves topic. We can check that off. We've talked about Joe Burrow's hair. The Olympics, they technically don't get underway until Friday, but the U.S. men's soccer team played today.
Promptly lost 3-0. Good job.
Good job, bud. Good job. Now it is like U23, I think. And I will take the fault for it, Leroy.
Oh, you will?
I will take the fall because I was editing some, and here, Paul, I'll tell you this right now before we continue. Mick and I were talking. If the Bengals win the Super Bowl and Joe Burrow keeps that hair through the season.
I asked him already point blank. The very first question I asked him was I wanted to see his hair, see if he bleached it yet.
Look, it's still normal. If they win the Super Bowl and Burrow keeps that hair throughout, I will strongly consider it.
No. You should just, even if he changes it back, you should go ahead. If they win the Super Bowl, you should do it.
How about this? If they win the Super Bowl and we can like raise some money for charity, or for Joe Burrow's charity, like, and I won't even make it an insane amount, like $500, something like that. If we can do that, then maybe I'll consider doing it. But can I make the rule that we do it like after basketball season, so I don't have to do it in the
you've got a reputation to uphold.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm kind of a big deal, Leroy. I can at least hide it with a hat during baseball season. But the Olympics, I've been editing some videos, and if you don't know, we'll go inside baseball here. When you edit a video, you have to do things called rendering, which just makes the video look better. But when you render, you pretty much just can't do anything else on your computer because it takes so much processing speed with it.
Yep.
What's up, Travis?
We're stuck.
So I did that, and I knew I had about 20 minutes to kill while this was going along. So I went over to flip on Peacock, and it's 0-0.
Yep.
0-0. And in the 20 minutes, France scored 2 goals. So I take full credit that the U.S. was playing great. I flipped it on, and it just tanked downhill immediately. So I take full credit. I'm sorry, America.
Good job.
I won't watch any more soccer. Is there anything you're wanting to watch?
I watch the opening ceremonies, and then I will watch a little bit of the track and field. I'll have it on in the background while I'm at work and things like that. Because Paris is what, like 10 hours ahead of us?
It's 7.
7.
Yes.
Okay, so 7 hours ahead of us. See, I'll watch while I'm at work. I'll watch some stuff and.
So I have here's an interesting question from Caleb too. Does the USA even have a coach for the soccer team? Can you name the coach that they fired, Leroy?
No.
Can you name
why? Because you know why? Because no one cares about soccer, Sam.
Can you name the head coach of the USA hockey team?
No.
Can you name the coach of USA basketball? Do you know that? Do you know who's coaching? Steve Kerr.
Okay.
Okay. Can you name any U.S. soccer coach in history? Can you name somebody on the USA soccer team right now? Can you name any soccer player in American history?
in American history. Oh, Wayne Rooney played for America for a while.
He's English.
Pulisic. Come on now.
There you go. He's on the U.S. team right now. Paul asked, what's the news on Matt McClain? He is apparently going to start a rehab assignment in about 2 weeks. He actually did batting practice before the game on Monday. So it's a good sign that he can hopefully come back and help the Reds to finish in 4th place, maybe, instead of 5th place. Reds and Cubs are fighting. One of us is going to be last place. One of us. And the Cubs, though, I know what they're selling. Is that right?
So they said that they were going to go off these next 7 games to figure out whether they were selling or not. I don't think if they sell or buy, I don't think it's going to be anything major. I think maybe 1 or 2 pieces, and that'll be it. With that extra wild card, I just don't think you're going to see a lot of the selling and buying that we used to see. I just don't think it's there anymore. A lot of these teams feel that they are right there. A lot of these teams feel that they are close or just 1 or 2 pieces away. And even the teams that should be sellers will not be. So we just haven't seen a big trade deadline over the last couple of years.
If you were Hoyer, is that the GM of the Cubs?
Jed Hoyer.
If you were Hoyer, are you selling? What are you doing?
Going after Pete Alonso. Honestly,
Really?
the Cubs need bats. Their bullpen has like a 1.6 ERA since over the last month and a half. Their bullpen has been fantastic. Pitching staff is semi-decent, but they have no offense. They haven't had an offense, and I don't know what is going on in that team that they just have not been hitting. And yeah, injuries is part of it. But yeah, I know what Craig said, and I know what the team's going to do. But again, I just don't. They said this last couple of years, and they haven't done anything then either. They just don't do real big, oh my gosh, moves. And I'm not a big believer that they're going to do anything this year either.
See, for me, the Reds they're going to do a deal very similar to what they did in 2019 if they'd make a trade. And that was when they traded for Trevor Bauer because they knew they had him for one more year. So they knew that they were going to get this player for a year and a half. And I think that's going to be the deal. The Reds don't need a rental. They need a guy that is going to help them long term. Of course, you're free Trevor Bauer. I mean, the wildest stat is that Trevor Bauer is the only Reds pitcher to ever win the Cy Young. The third baseman for the Cubs starts with a V. Who is the Cubs' third baseman? Is that not Wisdom?
No. It's Wisdom's been awful. Who is their third base?
Alex Gonzalez?
I don't watch the games because I don't get marquee.
Vientos? Is that his person?
Bush has played third base.
Can I interest you in a Jamer Candelario?
You can. I can hang up the phone.
It's worth a shot for me to at least ask with it. Back to the Olympics. You said you're going to watch track and field.
Yeah, fencing. I'll probably watch a little bit of the swimming. And then some weird niche sports I like watching as well.
See, that to me is almost the part that is the most enjoyable for me. Is I like watching the random ones. Like I got into rock climbing.
I still maintain that they need to get a regular Joe off the street.
You
say, all right, you've got lane 1. Let's go. And then just so we can see just how great these guys really are.
What would be your 100-yard dash?
Right now, if I ran right now,
like if you went out to Taylorville High School this second, ran it right now,
21 seconds.
I was going to ask if you could break 20. I don't even know. Like I feel like I could probably do 17, maybe 16.
Paul, no, you are wrong. Curling is amazing.
You're just like curling because the athletes look like you. And it's something you feel like you could do. The one sport that I always like to watch too, just because I'm so blown away, and I think it's got to be probably one of, if not the hardest Olympic sport, it's got to be, is water polo.
Oh, insanely hard. People don't realize how hard that is.
It looks so easy.
The other sport that I really like is the kayaking, where they have to go up. They have to go up the water and then go through the gates back and then up. I'm telling you, I love it. It's fantastic.
Well, I know also one of the sports that's going to be coming in is breakdancing. Will you watch that? No, stop. That is not a joke. Breakdancing is in the Olympics this year. So will you watch breakdancing in the Olympics?
I will watch the replay. I will watch it. Well, thanks, Luke. I will watch the replay of it when they show the highlights of it.
Because breakdancing is coming in. It is coming back. And then also you're going to have surfing, skateboarding, climbing, and 3-on-3 basketball as well, which are some of those that you had mentioned. I like the climbing, but I'm also just surfing. That's another one is, of course, when everybody thinks of great surfing, they think of Paris.
One thing that I think is cool is they're taking parts of the Eiffel Tower and putting it in the gold, it's in the gold medal. They're taking a little piece of the Eiffel Tower and putting it in the gold medal, which I think is really cool. Actually, I think they're putting it in all the medals. I just said gold, but yeah, I think it's.
Do you have to bring your own cardboard, do you think, to the breakdancing? Or do you think they provide
they better have it for me.
Some of Leroy's players from his coaching days are going to play in the 3-on-3 basketball. God, I hope not. I hope they're not playing because we are not.
None of them should have ever touched basketball ever again.
Well, the one
None
kid.
of them. Not a single in that team. Yeah.
Okay, the surfing is in Tahiti. Really? Well, that kind of defeats the purpose. It's like.
Well, where are they going to surf and piss, Sam? The Seine?
That would be entertaining. They're just sitting there waiting for the waves. They get a little one. They got to do something with it. Well, it's just like, though, in a couple of years when LA is hosting in 4 years, you know that softball is going to be held in Oklahoma City.
Correct.
Which is just kind of weird because I hate that they're going to be in their own little city. I guess it's French Polynesia. Okay. I don't know. That just seems like so is the American surfing going to be, I don't know, is there surfing off the coast of LA?
Yeah.
So I guess they can do it there. They don't have to go to American Samoa or Puerto Rico or something.
No, I mean, or they just go to Hawaii and do it there.
Yeah.
Hey, I will watch bar bull riding. But the women have to, never mind.
Okay, I'm going to mute you before you get canceled, Leroy. You are about to get yourself canceled if you keep talking. No.
I like the bull riding. Riding.
This was going to be a play clock question that I have a list of play clock questions on my phone that I've just continuously add when I think of them. And one that has been on there for a year probably now, but I've never actually brought it up to you. But I'm going to ask you right now, not as a play clock question. I'm going to ruin it right now. If you could add a sport to the Olympics, what are you adding? And let's say a legitimate answer. What's something...
you know what? I know you're going to give me a lot of flack for this. Car racing.
That's one that I was interested in, and I was going to bring it up to you.
See the top F1 drivers, the top IndyCar drivers, the top NASCAR drivers figure out some vehicle that would be very similar, that they could all get into and race against each other. Love to see the top 5, top 10 guys in each sport go participate and race against each other, so we can really, really find out if some of these guys are on the same level as some of their other counterparts. That would be awesome.
That was going to be the point I was going to bring up. I feel like that would be. This is a great answer for Paul too. Beer pong.
Yes. Michael Jordan would be like, "What? I'm in."
But this has to be non-professional athletes. This just has to be they just have to go to a local college, and pick a random frat and that frat has to pull out their beer pong team.
Natty Light. Now he's drinking that.
Oh, God.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, no, it'd have to be a sponsor too. Is who's going to sponsor up the beer pong when it comes to that? Horseshoes, hand grenades, horseshoes, hand grenades, and so on. I don't know. I'll watch some of the Olympics, so I'm intrigued by it.
I always say I'm not going to, and then I find myself sitting there going, "Oh, this sport is on. Let's watch this."
And see, I know some people, like I know my boss is very much one of those people that is like, it's appointment television. Like all
Really?
day. Yes, like he big into it. And I'm not that, but I'm also not one of those people. Now I'm more into the summer than the winter.
See, I'm the opposite. I like winter better. Yeah.
Why?
I just think it's better. I like the sports a whole lot better. There's a whole lot more that I'd like to watch.
Interesting.
I don't care about watching. They have the people who are like running like long distance. I will watch you run 6 miles. I can get tired on my own. Thank you.
Rugby is in the Olympics, John. The U.S. rugby team played earlier today. I don't know if they won or not. Did they win?
True. I believe they did. Yeah.
Look at us go.
Thunder.
Rugby.
Let's see.
Shout out.
Let's see. Speaking of rugby, did you figure out cricket?
No, I didn't get back to it. I got too busy.
Oh my gosh, Sam.
They didn't. Summer has the Brazilian female volleyball team, says John.
Ireland plays Great Britain on Sunday. That'll be a great matchup in women's rugby.
Interesting. No, we had talked. This was off the show last week that I had recently bought a new Xbox to play the new college football game.
U.S. got destroyed 38-12. I looked at it wrong.
Okay. Good job, boys. Good job. Who'd they play?
Fiji. Like the water.
Oof. Good job, boys. Good job. But I had bought a new Xbox, and Xbox has what they call the Game Pass. And what it is you pretty much pay X amount a month, and you get access to a bunch of different games. So I went through and for free, and I downloaded a bunch of different games. I downloaded that offers like the show, it offers FIFA, it offers the new Forza game, and so on. But one of the games on there that it offers is cricket. And I don't know anything about cricket. Very, very, very basic things. The men tied France 12-12 in rugby today. And so after the show, I spent 5 minutes trying to figure out how to play cricket, and I got frustrated. But I don't know how much of it was that I don't understand the rules of cricket, which is part of it, and how much of it was that they didn't give me, because when you play a lot of new games, they'll give you like a tutorial.
They don't do that for that.
No. So I was just hitting buttons, and it was kind of confusing. So one of these days, I will learn more into it. But
once you get ready and you need me to teach you how to do that, you let me know. I got you.
Yeah, the new college football game. The NFL training camp, really for the most part, gets started this week. I think all of the teams are underway when it comes to training camp. And the athletic...
But not all the players.
No. And I'm sure you'll probably have some of that when it comes to tidbits a little bit later on. We probably do have a set of cousins who know something about cricket. I guess I could call Charlie, too. He'd probably be able to teach me just as much as you would, Leroy. They're from South Africa, so South Africa cricket is, pretty darn good.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
Yes. The Athletic, though, they have released their NFL power rankings for pre-training camp, and I found these fascinating.
All right.
Number one is no shock.
Yeah.
The Chiefs. Niners second.
Okay.
Lions third. Texans are fourth. Maybe a little high. Ravens fifth. So there's your top five. We can just keep on going to round out.
Texans will be four. I get the high ranking for them. But the question is CJ Stroud, can he do what he did again? Sophomore season, lots of pressure on this kid, and a lot of, coming off of what was a spectacular year last year, everybody knows what they're gunning for. Now, Mahomes was able to adjust and really battle through his sophomore year and really do something with it. And the question will be whether CJ Stroud can do that too.
I mean, Joe Burrow in his sophomore year went to the Super Bowl.
That's true. And what happened, Sam?
6 is the Browns, 7 is the Cowboys, 8th is the Packers, 9th is the Bills, 10th is the Eagles. So that rounds out the top 10. We can keep on going, and I find this to be quite fascinating. In 14th, the Bengals. In 15th.
Is that low? Is that low for you?
In 15th.
Okay.
The Bears.
What?
So I ask you, Leroy. Now, and we might even need Paul to chime in here. Okay. You all good?
Yeah, I thought I heard tornado sirens, and I wanted to make sure that we weren't like dying.
Are you supposed to have a tornado?
Well, it's Illinois, you know.
Well, would you continue the podcast?
Absolutely.
I was going to say, go out with a tornado. We'll just watch you get blown away live on StreamYard. What a way to go out, right? She's not watching anymore. She doesn't care. She watches for the first 5 minutes and then gives up on us, which is probably for the best. But the Bengals 14th and the Bears 15th.
Okay.
Now, I know I'm biased, Leroy. And I'm not going to shy away from that. But are the Bengals and the Bears really that close?
Yeah, no. Bears should be way lower. Bengals should probably be a little bit higher. Honestly.
Yeah, and I agree.
Bengals are probably at 9 or 10.
Yeah, and honestly,
maybe even 8 or 9, and the Bears should be more like a 20, 21. Listen, as much as Paul doesn't want to hear this, I really need Caleb Williams to succeed.
Well, yeah, as he should.
But no one knows what we're getting with him. He is a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to have moments where he sucks. And the question will be whether or not he's got the mental fortitude to handle Chicago media, to handle the fans, and be able to go out there and still play his game.
What are your?
That's going to be the question.
Okay, legitimately, I want realistic Leroy hat on right now. Realistic Leroy hat on right now. We are doing this podcast in 15 years. You'll be in the nursing home. And I'll be, I don't even know, probably one step. I heard that. So maybe, Leroy, you are going to die in a tornado today. Keep it alive. Like Luke said, you're going to go viral. You're going to go viral. Do it for the pod. Do it for the pod. I'll just need to find a new co-host, I guess.
John will do it.
In let's just say in 15 years.
Yep.
What is Caleb Williams' career? Like, realistic hat. Is he a successful quarterback?
He will be the best quarterback that the Bears have ever had. An above average quarterback who will play 12 or 13 years. But the question will always be whether or not he would have been better on any other team.
Okay.
An above average quarterback who will be in the Hall of Very Good.
Okay. Well, then I don't think he's above average if he's in the Hall of Very Good.
I mean, I don't think he'll be a Hall of Famer, but I think the thing is I think he will be the best Chicago has ever seen. Now, will that translate to wins? Will that translate to playoff appearances? That remains to be seen. But listen, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to harp on this all season long. Caleb Williams does not need to be Patrick Mahomes to be successful. Heck, Caleb Williams does not need to be Joe Burrow to be successful. Okay? Caleb Williams just needs to go through a fourth quarter without throwing an interception. I'm telling you, Chicago wants to latch onto a quarterback so bad. He does not need to suck a whole lot for Chicago to jump on board with this guy.
Yeah, I'm not
He
going
just
to.
needs to be. He just needs to be above average. That's all it needs to be.
John writes in and says Caleb will be Trubisky.
Great. I will say I laughed that one of the analysts said that Caleb Williams will suck because, and it was a weird analogy, like Caleb Williams will not be CJ Stroud because CJ Stroud had the Ohio State lineup and that helped prepare him to play football. And all the Bears fans are like, bro, Justin had the entire Ohio State line. What are you talking about?
This is true. This power ranking, and here's what I want to say. So he has the Bears at 15, and I'm going to tell you the teams that are behind them, and I want you to say, should they be behind? Should this team be in front of the Bears when it comes to power rankings? Chargers.
No.
So you're taking the Bears over the Chargers. I disagree. They have a better quarterback.
They have a brand new college coach
who has been to a Super Bowl.
Keep going.
Falcons.
No.
See, to me, the Falcons are just so fascinating. Like, we're going to look at them at the end of the season, and they're going to be one or the other. Like, it's just like Kirk Cousins is going to lead them, and they're going to be great, or it's going to be like, well, how soon can Michael Penix take over? 18th.
They drafted Penix because the NFL made them do it. The NFL said, "Look, we are either going to take away your draft pick, or you have to draft somebody that you wouldn't draft in that normal spot." There's no reason that the Falcons should have passed over Odunze. None at all. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
18th. The Colts.
Yeah, I think they are better.
I like, to me, it's the exact same. They both have you've got a young quarterback. They've got some nice pieces.
Bears have a better wide receiver core.
Now that there's no question when it comes there. Seahawks.
Oh. Who's the quarterback this year? Is it still
Geno Smith?
No.
City near West Virginia.
Commanders?
City near West Virginia. That's in the western portion of Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. Sorry. No. I think the Steelers are better.
So you think the team is better? I almost said that name. God.
I got him. Paul, I got him.
The last three I'll do here. Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I think they're better than the Bears, if you're asking me.
Buccaneers. Who is Lawrence going to throw it to?
But Trevor Lawrence is still a better quarterback than Caleb Williams. And if Caleb Williams, that's to me my issue with the Bears being 15th. And listen, at the end of the season, they could be 15th, 100%. I just don't know without having any proof. You're telling me that I don't know.
There is not a single number one pick in all of in the last recent memory that has walked into as good of a situation as Caleb Williams has with his Bears offense.
Yeah.
Most number one picks do not come into situations this good.
Yeah, and it's going to be, it'll just be very interesting. And I thought the power rankings were fascinating when we look into that. You want to do a little Who Am I here?
Yes, please.
Since you're starting to get fired up and I can tell that you're about to blow away in a tornado.
It's coming down pretty good out there.
Is it? See, we can't hear it. We just heard that one clap of thunder. It came through, and it was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. I mean, he's got Christian Kirk. He's got Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr., Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne. So, I mean, Jack's pretty decent.
I love Etienne. All right, go ahead.
Who am I? This is where I am a player, and you just got to tell me who I am. I played 14 seasons in the NFL for 5 different teams. I played 14 seasons in the NFL for 5 different teams. Leroy, who am I?
Brandon Marshall.
No. No. Nope. Nope, not Brian Hoyer. Somebody gets it here. I'm going to be so mad. Like, it's just not fun to get it on the first chance. In high school, I was the state basketball player of the year twice. And I was teammates with Jason Williams. Remember him?
When did LeBron play football?
In high school, I was state basketball player of the year twice, and I was teammates with Jason Williams. Tony Gonzalez is incorrect. Tony Gonzalez was incorrect. Do you have a guess after that one?
I did not.
My dream was to play for Notre Dame, but that was thwarted after I got into a racially charged fight in high school and was arrested. My dream was to play for Notre Dame, but that was thwarted after I got into a racially charged fight in high school and was arrested. Who am I? Bell. Le'Veon Bell? Von Bell? Either way, you're wrong, Luke.
Do them again. Say them again.
I played 14 seasons in the NFL for 5 teams. In high school, I was state basketball player of the year twice, where I was teammates with Jason Williams. My dream was to play for Notre Dame, but that was thwarted after I got into a racially charged fight in high school and was arrested. Le'Veon Bell is not right, but that's not a bad guess. Not a bad guess.
Antonio Brown.
No, you know me better than that I'm not going to put in. Number 4 on this. I hold the FCS record for most yards and touchdowns by a freshman. I hold the FCS or Division 1 AA record for yards and touchdowns by a freshman. Who am I? Who am I? You need number 5?
Yep.
I hold the NFL record for the most touchdown catches in a single season.
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss is correct. Randy Moss is the correct answer. Let's see if anyone else gets it in the comment section to kind of tie you, because you do get the benefit of not having the little bit of a delay. So we'll see if anyone else types that in. Randy Moss for sure, Paul says. Yep. Randy Moss is the correct answer for today's. My 6th clue was going to be, Moss comes in, was going to be, my last name is known as a nickname for a type of play that you do in the NFL. Moss. But yeah, I didn't know that he was high school teammates with Jason Williams.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I don't know that I had known that he had such a legal history.
Yeah, I think because obviously he played for the Vikings when I lived in Minnesota for a while. I think he had a lot of hate in his heart for a long time that he had to work through and kind of. And listen, I don't blame him, obviously, but I think it took him a little bit to get that straightened out.
100%. You got any tidbits?
I do. Let's hit him up. Here we go. Lots of NFL holdouts, a lot of players holding out. Do you feel that there are more this year, or is this just becoming the norm as far as players? They're all saying that they're not going to play. They're not going to play until they get their contract. Standard, man. Everyone was all talking about this whole Jordan Love thing, and I'm just like, I don't care. Y'all trying to get me riled up? I don't care. Nothing's going to happen anyway. John Force, the NHRA truck driver who, or drag driver who crashed through the wall when his brakes failed. 75 years old, still drag racing, was forced to retire, obviously. He did get discharged from the hospital. He is home recuperating at home after a pretty big, significant TBI. Sad music, sad noise today. Sad noises today. The NBA has reached and finalized an agreement with Amazon. TNT is no more.
Yeah, poor Chuck.
Even if you didn't like NBA, that was a fantastic show.
Oh yeah.
Even if you weren't a big NBA guy, that was fantastic. Mike Trout has left his rehab assignment after one at bat in which he struck out. There's going to be a lot of what ifs with his career. I know he's a Hall of Famer. I know he's amazing. I get it. But there's going to be a lot of what ifs about his career.
Yeah, Chuck, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie apparently are gone, Paul, unless Amazon tries to hire them. But apparently, Chuck was already going to retire. That's what he announced a couple of weeks ago. Mike Trout reminds me a lot of Junior, though.
Yes. What could have been?
Junior, in those last 6 or 7 years of his career, if he'd have stayed healthy, I mean, he'd be the home run king. I have no doubt in my mind.
All those steroids he used.
He's gone. Absolutely gone. Absolutely gone for taking shots at Ken Griffey Jr. Gone. Are you sorry? Do you think he did?
Do I think he did?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't think
but there's definitely a lot of people that do think they did based off of how quickly he fell off.
Yeah, I honestly don't think he did.
All right. Joey Cora signed an extension until 2027 with the Red Sox, who probably lost the game 20-7 today to the Rockies and got into a benches clearing almost brawl today as well. So good job, Red Sox. We already talked about France being USA in soccer. The MLB trade deadline is coming up. Deshaun Foster. If you have not seen this video,
UCLA?
If you have not seen this video, you need to go watch. Deshaun Foster is the UCLA coach. For those of you who don't know, it's Media Big Ten Day, it's Media Big Ten Week, whatever you want to. Media Day, whatever you want to call it. And Deshaun Foster came up on stage. You got to watch this video if you haven't seen it, and says, I'm sure you guys don't know too much about UCLA, our football program, but we're in LA. And then there was like a long pause, and he's like, it's us in USC. I'm just basically excited, really. That's it. It was the most awkward press conference ever. He settled down apparently afterwards, but bro was absolutely nervous as all could be coming out on stage and talking to people. You got to go watch it if you haven't watched it. Steph Curry wants to retire a Warrior, but does not want to finish for a quote bottom feeder. Take that for what you will. The Blue Jays say they will not trade anyone from their core. That's brand new. There was a lot of speculation about Vladimir Guerrero and whether or not he was going to move, and then a couple other pieces as well. Stan Bowman is the new Oilers GM. Surprise move out of Edmonton today. Both Bowman and Bill Quenneville were suspended and basically fired from the NHL for their knowledge of the scandal that happened in the Blackhawks organization. But they've been reinstated quietly, and Bowman is the new Oilers GM. Paul Skeens has lost his first game of the season. More sad news. Skeens lost his first game. Are wins-losses important? I think we overvalue wins-losses. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, it means nothing.
In IndyCar news, Colton Herta did something that no IndyCar driver has ever done. He finished first in practice 1, practice 2, qualified pole, and won the race. No driver has ever won all 4 events before. Ellie De La Cruz stole his 50th base today.
And his 51st.
So I ask you, see, he has 84 total. Okay. If he stole 130 bases a year, which was the record, not the record, the modern day record set by Ricky Henderson, he would still need over 10 years of doing that to break Ricky Henderson's record. And that's not a knock on Ellie De La Cruz. That just is oh my gosh, Ricky was an absolute beast when it came to stolen bases.
Oh, yeah. And I want to see if I can remember. Sean Casey told a really good Ricky Henderson story. And I think it was, he probably does have the record for most caught stealing, just based on sheer number. It wouldn't shock me if he does.
Yeah.
And Luke, to answer your question, Votto, I think apparently was scratched from the lineup and stuff, which hurts deep down. But Ricky Henderson has Sean Casey had a great Ricky Henderson story about him and stolen bases. And I think it was when, I don't remember who the manager was. It was La Russa. That's who it was. So this was the A's. And they had the thing where it was after spring training had closed and they had their roster. And so they had their first meeting and they changed all their signs, obviously, because they cut some players and gotten a couple new ones and so on. And it was one of those things La Russa was going through them, this is steal, that is bunt or so on. And he says, if I ever go like this and wipe down my arm, it means take off the sign. Cool. Great. First one comes and, whoever's third base coach is going through the signs, gives them all and then swipes down the arm. And Ricky Henderson is on first this time. Pitch comes, Ricky steals second. And La Russa's like, what the hell? I said, take off. They do it again. He goes through the signs. He goes through the signs, swipes down the arm again, take off. Ricky steals third. And he's like, and I don't remember what happened. Ricky gets back into the dugout and La Russa's like, what are you doing? Why are you not listening to your manager? And Ricky said, well, you told Ricky to take off.
Ricky took off.
And Ricky took off. And he's like, the Russa's like, well, I can't necessarily be mad because technically you did take off, but take off means take off the sign. But
that's just crazy to me that if he stole 130 bases, if Ellie stole 130 bases every year, he would need to do that 11 years straight.
Yeah.
To break Ricky's record, which is just insane. Especially because stolen bases aren't really, it's not a huge thing anymore like it used to be because the small ball's kind of gone away. It's really gotten a lot of.
It's gotten bigger in these last couple of years since the base has changed.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not the 4th of July there?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's a hell of a storm. It sounds like you're getting right now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Are you going to blow away?
No, not yet. Don't worry. These walls are. I work for a radio station, so these walls are paper thin. So we'll be. Sam, I always laugh because for those of you who don't know, Sam and I both work at radio stations. Part of the reason we started this podcast was to talk about the daily struggles that we have. And I always laugh because you expect a radio station to be soundproof. I assure you, if you are working for a small radio station, it is not soundproof by any means. I can hear right now, I'm just listening and I can hear at least 3 different radio stations right now. So, yeah, that's fun.
Luke says he can't hear the storm. Maybe do you want to just go walk outside and go stand in the middle of it?
I could. I'll just take my phone and just go out there.
Go stand outside. Did you have any more tidbits?
Nope, that was it. I was fascinated that Ellie stole 50, and I wanted to go look and see what the season record was, and then what the all-time record was, and of course, Ricky holds both.
It's everyone's favorite segment now.
Ah,
Time for Leroy logos. Throwback summer continues. Leroy's just got simple enough. Tell me what logo it is. That's your first one. No, okay.
There better not be a tiger this week. Is there a tiger this week? You're such a jerk.
1, 2, 3, or 4 this week, Leroy.
Oh wait,
I gotta give you your batting average right now. Your batting average is 391. So
Well,
you're hitting well.
384. 381. 381. All right, let's go. Let's go with 391. 2. We'll start with 2.
Number 2 is your first one today.
It looks like the Lincoln Railers. That's been like our own Apollo conference that we have here in Central Illinois. Our Lincoln Railers have a very similar logo.
I wonder if they stole it from the team when they used this.
Gotta be, right?
I'll
have to find that logo. I'll have to find that logo and send it to you so you can see what it looks like. But that is go with Purdue Boilermakers.
Does this make you feel better or worse? I assume this is your final answer.
It is my final answer, and it doesn't make me feel anything because Paul's right about as much as I am, 50-50.
Correct.
Hey, Purdue Pete. Isn't that what his name is, Pete?
Yep, that is Purdue Pete. So Leroy has gotten his first one today. Will this finally be the week?
Stop. I hate when you do that. Stop.
I might have made this to try and open it up for you. Number 4. 1966 to 1979, this one was used.
I will go with Stanford.
Final answer.
Yeah. Not very confident in it.
You don't sound very confident at all. Paul says Stanford. Luke says Stanford.
I just feel like it's too easy. It feels like it's too easy. All right.
Stanford is correct. Stanford is correct. Like I said, I've had this 4-1 this music just waiting to play when you finally get 4 out of 4 correct. 1 or 3?
1.
Number 1. Number 1.
What year?
50s.
I think Kansas has blue in their logo. I'm going to go with Kentucky.
Kentucky. Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Kentucky is what Leroy says. Paul said Kentucky. John said Kentucky. Paul also told you to don't overthink it. Oh my goodness. The pressure is on. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much pressure are you feeling right now?
No, I hate this.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? The final Leroy's logo, 1969. 1969. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Bomb spaghetti. But on the surface, he looks calm and ready.
Shut up!
How you feeling with this? This is it.
I don't like this.
This is it. Will this finally be the week? Will this finally be the week? I don't think you've ever gotten this far and going 3 straight to open up. You've gotten 3 out of 4 plenty of times.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we've ever gotten to the last one. What school is this? I will tell you, the comment section seems like they're a little bit stumped. Apparently you look like you're at a 10 as far as the nerve level right now. Paul has submitted his answer. Do you have your answer, Leroy?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Got my finger ready. What is your guess for this week's Leroy Sogas? Will this finally happen? This is episode 64. Will it happen? What is your guess?
I'm going to go with Michigan.
Michigan. Final answer.
Yeah. In the back of my head, it's UCLA, but I'm going to go with Michigan. What is it?
How about Paul Reeves going 4 for 4?
Baylor, the green. Oh my gosh. Baylor Bears. Oh, I wasn't even thinking about Baylor.
Paul Reeves goes 4 out of 4.
Yeah, boy,
though.
Paul.
Oh. 396 though. 396. So that's pretty decent. Pretty decent indeed.
Good job, Paul.
Oh, I thought it was coming. You did pick the hardest one last, but I don't think it was an unfair hard by any stretch.
No, the green should have given it away, and it didn't.
It was close. It was close, but congrats, Paul.
Very proud of you, Paul. Good job, bud. You and I are about the same when it comes to logos, so mad kudos to you, my friend.
Yeah, without question. Time for a little play clock where we've got 40 seconds to answer a question that the other person doesn't know anything about. And then we get to jump into a little bit of NASCAR standings update. It's getting interesting, Leroy. It's getting interesting. Would you like to ask or answer first?
I will answer first, my friend.
Simple question for you, Leroy. Very simple.
Yep.
Very simple.
Yep.
I saw this in an argument. John says he got 2. That's a new record.
That boy, John.
What is harder, hitting or pitching?
Pitching. And I'll tell you why. Because pitching, look, you are 60 feet 6 inches away, and it looks close when you're sitting in the stands. It does not look close when you're standing on the mound. And you'll find a box that's about 2 feet tall, about a foot wide, and to be able to hit that mark consistently, that takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of time. I'm not saying hitting is not tough, but pitching is definitely harder as far as what it takes to be a pitcher at a successful level. My goodness, I will always say pitching is harder.
Yeah, see, I think I agree with Paul and John. I think I'd go hitting. They're both incredibly hard. I think it is the fact of it.
Yes. There's a reason why the best hitters hit 3 out of 10.
Yes, elite hitters hit that much.
Yes, the elite hitters hit 3 out of 10.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ted Williams hit 4 out of 10, and he was the last guy to do it. I want your Mount Rushmore of starting pitchers.
You are stealing my category here.
Yep, I am. And
Randy
Paul's the reason why I'm
Johnson.
asking you. Paul,
Randy
Paul
Johnson.
is the reason I'm asking you this.
It is my 40 seconds. Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan. I'm putting him in there. Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, Hunter Green, and Homer Bailey. No, I'm gonna go Koufax. And do you have to put Cy Young in there? I feel like you almost have to, just based on sheer. Gosh, there's so many names in there. I think for me, Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan. Gosh, that's tough. That's tough. And I think you've also got like the next level, which I think, has Maddox and some of those. See, I think Maddox is that next level. Really, really, really good, but not top 4. Not top 4. But really, really, really freaking good. Really freaking good. Name someone better than Maddox. I mean, Johnson, Ryan, Hunter Green, Rookie Davis.
Do you really just say Hunter Green? You really just say Hunter Green?
I mean, he shut down the Braves the other night. 0 runs in 7 innings. That's tough. There's so many good pitchers out there. So many good pitchers. I don't know. Leroy, if you could know the answer to 3 questions in life, whether this is things like, are aliens real, or about your future, what 3 questions are you wanting to know the answer to?
What's the highest I'll get in my career? How many other life forms are there in the universe? And let's see, what's the last one that I can ask? How many more World Series will the Cubs win in my lifetime?
Like, do you want to know questions like that though? Because what happens, like, in all seriousness, they said, in your career, you're there. Like, you are like, do you really want to know the answer to that?
I do not believe that. I do not believe that this is my end all be all, man. I can't believe that.
Or like John says, if that was the answer for the Cubs, 0. Would you want that, knowing every single year when you watch the postseason that the Cubs are in it, that...
Go Braves. Braves.
But see, that's why I think this question is so fascinating, because there's so many questions like, do you really want to know the answer to that?
I would like to know how many life forms
there are
in the universe.
That's a great one. That's a great one. That's a great one. But there's so many of them that I don't know that you'd want to know. In fact, I was going to use this as a play clock question, but I'll just ask you this now anyways. Like, would you want to know when you die?
No.
Would you want to know how you die?
No. Yeah.
You would?
Yeah. Because the thing is if he's like car crash or he's like old age, like that changes how I do things.
But would you? What would happen if it was like plane crash?
I just don't get in any planes.
What happens if you're just hit by a plane driving down the road or something like that, and they classify it as a plane crash? See, like, I honestly, like, legitimately don't know if I'd want to know. Because what happens, like, legitimately, if you said, yes, I want to know when I die, and they say, okay, you die next week.
I'm dropping off a 2-week notice in my at my work.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm dropping off a 1-week notice at my work.
So you'd rather know how than when?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
See, I think it's a fascinating, like, psychological question. Okay, I'm ready to answer your question now. Which
would be easier for you?
Neither.
To steal to steal second base in a Reds game or to run 5 yards behind the UK offensive line?
Oh, steal. Without, I mean, yeah, no, steal. And that's not a shot at the UK offensive line, but it's more just based on sheer, I'm not shifty enough to do that. Whereas maybe, I mean, I'm not going to steal a base regardless, but I'm at least somewhat fast enough that maybe I could look into that.
What if it was the Bengals?
Oh, God, no.
Are you still saying steal? Are you still saying steal?
Yeah, because I think if you would have said 1 yard, it would have almost been tough enough. It's just because, I mean, the NFL, the defenses are so freaking good. And I mean, stealing, at least if I get out, I'm not going to die. If I run 5 yards, they're going to break us in half. It'd be the same thing for you. They break you in half.
I know.
Break you in half. But for one, I'd love to see you run out there at running back. They'd be like, is this a Make-A-Wish kid? Like, what are we doing here?
Damn. No, I'm bald. Clearly, I have cancer and I'm dying. Okay.
Well, you're gonna have a helmet on, so they don't know that. They're just gonna see your height. Do you think you could steal a bag?
Right now, absolutely not. It would be like Major League. It'd be like Major League where he gets like almost there, and they're like, "Come on." That's exactly what that would be.
Prime Leroy, could he?
It'd be close. I get tagged out. Those guys are pretty fast on the base pass. Even the slow guys are pretty fast on the base pass. Even Kyle Schwarber is relatively fast on the base pass.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's no question there. I assume you don't have drivers since you're still on your phone.
Correct. Next week.
Because your wife decided that. Can you believe how rude that is? That she decided that she'd
leave for a whole month. I know.
The audacity.
Yes.
And then what is this I hear about you crying in your front yard?
So for those of you who don't know, I've hurt my shoulder pretty significantly, like to the point that I'm going to need surgery most likely in September. And I reached down to go move something after I was mowing, and as I reached down, I felt this tremendous pop in my right shoulder on top of everything else that's been going on, and it's pretty much lifeless. I can move it. It takes a lot to move it. And I was complaining because I didn't get any love or sympathy from the person who vowed that she would give me sympathy. So I was frustrated and upset over the lack of sympathy that I got. I joked that they need to just take a hammer and let's just go. Let's just knock the whole thing out. That way I can just get the surgery done now. It's quite a bit of pain. I've been living on ibuprofen and Advil and all the other pain reliever stuff. And
we know
adult
heroin
adult plants that help me
cocaine.
Yeah. not cocaine. Heroin like normal people.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Speaking of heroines, I'll see you, Luke. Have a good rest of your night. He's probably working. Excuses though, right? Like, who works during our show? You're supposed to be focused on us.
Darn kids.
NASCAR pick contest, Leroy, where we don't have an actual pick this week. We don't have an actual pick because
Olympic break.
The Olympics, so they're off for a couple of weeks.
Correct.
So we will be back with only 3 weeks left because we just said that we were going to go to Daytona. That was what we said.
We did.
Yeah, I did see that they're apparently, speaking of, a bunch of sharks tested positive.
Brazil. Wasn't it Brazil? Or Argentina? It was either Brazil or Argentina. It was definitely a South American country.
So he says the 2000s pitchers, Kershaw, Lincecum, Verlander, Halladay, Mad Bum, Felix Hernandez, Scherzer. Those guys are really good, but maybe not Mount Rushmore. I love Kershaw. it'd be tough not to throw him.
Somebody in our Smack Talk group was asking whether Lincecum should be a Hall of Famer. And when you really break down his numbers, I mean, he only had like 2 or 3 really, really solid seasons where he was on top of it. He puts out 5 or 6 more of those years, yeah, but he just doesn't have enough. But when Lincecum was on, he was one of the best.
The pick contest, though, from last week. They were at Indy. Kyle Larson won. Leroy and I both picked Kyle Larson. 49 points for the both of us. Luke, you came in second last week by picking Chase Elliott, getting 36 points. Paul, 23 with Denny Hamlin. And Chase picked Jimmy Johnson, getting himself 4 points. 4. The standings right now. A shift in the leader. Myself has taken the lead now with 3 weeks to go. I have 653 points. Paul is in second at 630. In third is now Leroy with 585. Chase is now in fourth with 551. John at 334. Tyler at 299. Luke at 146. Bert coming in strong with 17 points. He raced like a one-off, I think. Wasn't that right?
Yeah, he did for the
at Indy.
He's doing a few, but it's very far and few between. I mean, listen, Jimmy Johnson has nothing left to prove.
No,
Jimmy's just doing it because he enjoys racing. I mean, he's got nothing.
He's maybe the greatest NASCAR driver of all time.
Correct.
So I am now in first by 23 points. Leroy, you have 585. Chase at 551. John, technically you're still there, 334. Tyler at 299. Luke at 146. Again, Bert at 17. So again, we're going to take a couple of weeks off. The next race is like the 8th, 10th, 9th, 11th, something like that in August. So we've got a couple of weeks until they race at Richmond. So that'll be our next pick. So we'll make sure to come back to that in a couple of weeks when we jump into it. It's Richmond, Michigan, Daytona, and then the pick contest is over. We're not doing it for the remainder of the season because I believe that Daytona weekend is when we restart our pick contest.
Correct. And speaking of all-time greats, I do have a question for you. Sam finally picked the right guy and took the lead. Didn't think you had it in you. Good job, Gorm. So, speaking of all-time greats, the question that's been floating around Twitter over the last week has been Jose Fernandez. It has been quite a while since Jose Fernandez left us. He passed away in a boating accident. Kind of. The question that I have for you is if Jose Fernandez would have stayed alive, do you think we'd be talking about him as one of the all-time greats? I mean, his FIP 273, 218, 224, 230, K per 9, 975, 1219, 1099, 1249, WAR 4.2, 1.8, 2.1, and 6.3.
Yeah, I mean, without question. He was really, really, really freaking good.
I don't think people realize, because it's been a while since he's passed away. I don't think people realize just how good he was. Again, obviously for a very short amount of time, but Jose was the man for a while.
John asks too, Leroy, is the pick contest just going to be us, or is it going to be like NASCAR picks where everyone makes picks? I don't know yet.
We haven't decided yet. Sam and I will have to sit down and figure out how we want to do it.
Because the downside to having everyone do it is because we luckily could balance it out, especially since I picked his high school game and you picked mine. That's how it was.
What if we did a guest every week? Like we picked a different guest. Like 1 week would be Paul, 1 week would be John, 1 week would be. Well, Sam and I will talk about it. Sam and I will talk about it. We'll figure out what we want to do to make sure that this is something that we all can enjoy.
Yeah, we're gonna figure something out. Because I mean, to me, honestly, the favorite part of the NASCAR of our actual pick contest last year is picking the high school games.
The high schools.
I found it so much fun because neither one of us was great at it. Oh
no, Christy. Oh no, you are absolutely doing it too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
yeah, you are.
Chase, we just gave the update on the NASCAR pick contest. Good job last week, 4 points. You've gotten 5 in the last 2. Good job. Proud of you. the standings, I am in first, 653. Paul is 630. Leroy 585. You have 551 with 3 weeks left. So there's your update. You'll have to go back and watch. We've talked about some great things today. Great things. Great things, right?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing that I want. Chase just reminded me. They released the Hall of Fame plaques for the players that are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Very cool seeing Joe Mauer on there, and then seeing a few of the other plaques as well. So congratulations again to our Hall of Famers this year. Always a special moment. You know that they autographed the wall behind where they played. They autographed the wall behind where they placed the plaque in the Hall of Fame, which I thought was really, really cool as well.
Yeah, that is cool. Have you been there? I know we've talked about this on the show. You've never
I have not. Right? It is on my bucket list. And you joked about if I had a week left, what would I do? If I had a week left, I'd be making a beeline for Cooperstown, 100%.
What would you do? Like, legitimately, if you answer that question, it was July 31 was it for you. You at the end of the podcast next week.
God. Well, it sucks because like IndyCar is not racing. I would like put all my money to get like front row, like suite everything. But no, I think I'd go to Cooperstown, go see the Hall of Fame there. I'd probably go to Vegas and just be absolutely stupid for 2-3 days, a la Hangover. And then I would definitely go out to LA, go see Dodger Stadium, and I'd probably go see as many baseball games as I could on the way back through.
Don't you mean spend every possible second with your lovely wife?
She is a peach. I just assumed that she'd be with me.
Chase says, I got a Coach All Ripken game starting tomorrow. I definitely will not be in any shape to coach.
Hang in there, Chase. Hang in there, buddy.
Chase, he just turned 21 in March, so he's fresh in that round. Paul says he signed it and said "F you." Then they took the jersey back to Eli to sign. He put "good game" on it. That's funny. That's funny. I like the Brady-Eli relationship. It's kind of funny between the two of those. I don't even know though. If I knew I had a week left, I don't even know what I would do.
I'm telling you, I would go to as many baseball stadiums as I possibly could. Honestly.
What happens, of course, she says, screw you. I don't want to go with you for that.
I know my wife. She'd want to go. Or she wouldn't want to go, but she'd only have to put up with me for a week longer, so it'd be fine.
And then August 1st would be a little celebration in her house.
He's gone. Yeah.
Paul's not wrong. Quit drinking now. Trust me. Yeah, I mean, listen, Chase, if you drink too much, you look like Leroy and I when you're our age.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you
definitely don't want to look like that. I mean, listen, I'm already getting a little gray.
Christy won't be home till like August 1st. So really, I can just go do this whole thing myself and not have to worry about it.
What ballparks would be on your list? So you get 7 days. Let's just say that you could possibly go to 7. What 7 are you going to?
Seattle. Like I said, Dodger Stadium. San Diego Qualcomm. Is it still Qualcomm, right?
That was the football stadium. Petco.
What's their
Petco?
Petco. That's it. Petco.
So that's 3.
I'd go to Coors.
4.
Yankee and Shea.
Or City. 6.
Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say you can go see Shea, but I think it's a parking lot now, so you get one more.
And then Turner, the new Turner, whatever the Braves call their new field. Truist Park. Yeah.
Interesting. You wouldn't throw another Wrigley visit on there.
This is too tough. I can't do this game. I need more than the 30 seconds that I have to figure this out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, this is not a play clock question. So this is just out of pure curiosity.
The thing is like The thing is, I'd love to go to some of those West Coast.
And see,
I've never been farther west than Nebraska. I've been everywhere east. I've never been on the West Coast at all. And I'd love to go out there and go see some of the cool stuff out there.
See, for me, okay, let's see. What am I doing? I would put another GABP visit on there just because if I'm getting 7, so I want to see the Red. No, I can see the Reds play one more time. I'm San Francisco is on that list. I'd love to see their ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting Dodger Stadium on that list. Oh gosh, what else is on this list? Fenway.
I wouldn't mind.
I've never been to Fenway. There's 4.
Yeah. Replace Yankee with Fenway.
Honestly, I'd probably like say Baltimore, like Camden Yards. That always looks like a really nice ballpark. 5.
I wouldn't mind going up to the Twins Stadium too, or Twins Field too.
Weirdly enough, I'd want to put Tropicana on there.
I liked Tropicana
just because I thought
it was a great stadium. It was a little dim, a little dull, but a little dreary. But I liked it.
And then I might put Minute Maid on there.
Oh.
Astros.
Yeah.
Astros. That would be a decent one to throw in there. Paul, I'm curious on your 7. You get 7. And Chase, if you're still watching, unless you've died from the alcohol in the last 3 minutes. If you had 7 days to live and you got to go to 7 ballparks, that's a hell of a question. That's a hell of a question right there. Next week on the show, I don't really know what we might talk about, Leroy.
Trade deadline probably close. It's pretty close.
Trade deadline. Who knows what could happen in the Olympics?
Yeah. One question I had for you is, what MLB coaches are not going to have a job after this year?
So he says San Francisco, Atlanta, Dodgers, Fenway, Colorado, Houston, Kansas City. That's a decent list.
That's not bad. That's not bad, yeah.
See, I'm so bad at this because every team has a different definition, because you get some teams like the Cubs who will fire, a manager who really wasn't, and I'm not necessarily taking a shot with that, who will fire a manager that probably didn't necessarily deserve to get fired, like David Ross.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's
like Counsell, but I don't know if that's necessarily an upgrade. It hasn't appeared as an upgrade yet.
But see, like, can Texas fire? Or I don't know if Paul's saying to fire Bruce Bochy or if he's saying to go to that stadium. I'm sure he's saying to go to that stadium.
No, I think he's saying to go to the new Ranger Stadium, which apparently is massive. It looks on that show, on MLB The Show. It looks massive. The new Rangers field looks massive.
Yeah, because I played it.
And at the All-Star game, it looked pretty big.
I know that was the stadium I had to play at while I was waiting for MLB The Show to download, because when it gets to a certain percentage, you can just play as the
World Series game. Yes,
and that was all I could do. But yeah, who knows what next week's show could bring? We inching closer to the pick contest. NASCAR pick contest will continue as well in a couple of weeks, and who knows what other games we might have to throw in there. Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss here, Leroy?
Nothing else, my friend. It's been a good show tonight.
I think so. Paul, Chase, John, Luke, everyone for joining us today. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week on From the Pressbox.